Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at all the bugs and glitches of this new map. First things first, if you go ahead and try and go into this wall when entering the Sith underground, connecting the catacombs and whatever to the underground area, you can actually just clip straight through this wall here. Same with this wall here, you kind of just clip through it. Not really much to be said there. I think it's the texture as a whole that just kind of clips through, and as well you can kind of clip through it, jump right down. However, you can't clip back up when getting up, despite the fact that there isn't really that big of a ramp there, although it doesn't make sense that you would be able to go down, but like coming up I get, that makes sense, yeah, but coming down doesn't make sense either. So yeah, you have that going on. You just kind of clip through this, and that's a little bit of an issue. So moving on to the next clip here, same issue, kind of different area. It's whatever entering the area here, like the catacombs. Check it out, there's like kind of a low poly ish texture to it, but one thing interesting is that the fact that this is a ladder here. And there is absolutely no ladder texture for it. It's just a wall, and without walking up to it, you couldn't actually tell that it's a ladder. So you just kind of walk up it, and that's it. We'll see what I usually did initially was I just tried and force jump through it, and that's what I saw a lot of people try to do as well. And it kind of led to like a clipping thing there with the force issue. However, this is where the clipping through the texture happens again. This is what actually made me believe that it was just a texture issue and not an actual clipping issue, is the fact that you can just clip through pretty much any texture that kind of looks like this throughout the entire map. So that needs to be worked on. That is a bit of an issue. I'm literally just clipping through it. As you saw there, I got a little stuck. I'm getting a little stuck now on things, and there's a reason why. Take a look at this. In case you didn't tell, basically whenever you're walking on that, you basically get stuck on it and you create a bit of a ladder sound. If you look right there, whenever I was trying to jump up onto these little steps here, I didn't realize they were actual entities, but I thought they were just part of the map itself. But no, these are actual entities, and yes, you can get stuck on them. So if you like jump at like a certain angle, you kind of just clip onto it. Don't know why they're entities, but I mean, it adds to the immersion of the map, so I guess it's cool in of itself. I tried to recreate this way too many times than I actually wanted to admit. I got it a couple of times. You saw that I kind of got it right there. It's not quite working out, and then already just kind of stopped me from getting up there. And just like that, yeah, you see I just did it right there. Next thing up here, we're going down to the Tython holocrons. This button's still here. So is that wall. Don't really know why they don't do anything. Next up is whenever you go up here and you try and crouch jump up there, you actually kind of clip through the bottom of the staircase. And I tried to see if you straight fell through it, but no, you don't fall through it. And whenever you get like a little closer, it's normal. Only your head kind of peeks up and you still get stuck on it. But whenever you go at that certain angle, you just kind of go through the staircase, which is kind of weird there. So don't know what's going on with that. And speaking of which, I don't really like what they do with Tython. I feel like there's a lot of issues, such as this hole in the floor here. Don't really know what the hole in the floor is doing here, but it is there, and there are many other just gaps in the universe sitting on Tython, such as this one right here, which can only be seen from a certain angle, which is a good thing to an extent. But just right here, boom, and this one right here. And then we have this thing right here. I don't know what this is. I'll be honest. I thought for a long time as to what this could be. It's just a wall that got added for no reason, pretty much. And if you go to a certain angle and you try to move left, you just can't move left. Like right now, I'm moving left and nothing's going on. So I have no idea what that's used for, but that is an obvious bug in the map right there. However, next thing here. It just kind of clips onto that little, like the ceiling right there. I don't know why. It's so weird. Next thing, though, is if you go ahead and wait, I'm going to zoom in right about now. That plant's just sitting there. It kind of clips through the wall. That's not cool. As well, this button in this door is still here. Don't know why. Also, Saber customization station and the skill tree machine just straight clip through the wall in the back of the temple. I tried to get a better view to see like what's going on in the middle, in the spawn room, and that's whenever I realized that the spawn room got smaller. So there is not enough room for these machines to sit in. Whereas the old map, they could just chill in there and they'd be just fine. On this map, they have to sit there. We don't have a ceiling in the lower temple. That's a bit of an architecture issue. On top of that, the dueling arena is kind of dark. Some lights might need to be added there for that, because at the moment it's what I expect a blind person would see whenever they're on the verge of going blind. So that's not cool. Like, this dueling arena is incredibly dark, and there's so many problems with Tython. I noticed it especially, I wouldn't call them bugs because it just seemed like it just wasn't worked on. Like this missing texture here on the ceiling, and the fact that it didn't even clip properly. On top of that, look at this pop in. So whenever you're from an angle, basically, and the trees, whenever you move closer to them, they pop in. However, whenever you use your suit zoom to check it out, they immediately pop in. And speaking of which, I didn't get footage of this. However, Korriban does not have fade in. All the entities and props load in for you at one time, whereas with Tython, the trees just fade in, they pop in and stuff like that. So let's get that. Look at that right there. Like, it's faded out, and then whenever I suit zoom, it's just like that. Also, this bench needs to be pushed in a little more. And we're gonna take a look at the Sith briefing room. It's the size of the Jedi dueling arena, and the Sith have their own dueling arena in the lower temple. And their briefing room for missions is just right there. Next thing up, on Korriban, go over here, get onto the rocks, move a little bit to the right, and you are stuck. You are stuck right there. You can't move, is basically the gist of it. You can't move at all. You trapped yourself. So I recommend you don't go near the rocks, because it's going to require that a staff gets to you, and they're going to have to pull you out with their fizz gun, except, oh, wait, no, they can't pull you with their fizz gun either, and they get themselves stuck. So this entire area near the rocks is just completely broken. You have to get brought by staff in order to do that. However, this isn't the only issue with this portion of the Korriban map. If you want to go ahead and jump up here on top of this pillar, and then we're going to jump one more time onto the top of the temple. So we're going to go ahead and wait for that to happen real quick. Boom, jump on top of the temple. By the way, force leap cooldowns suck. Alright, if we go ahead and check out this, usually in the old map, there was like a back of the temple right there, where there's like a dueling PK area. That's what it used to be anyways. However, this still remains, is the fact that you can just get inside of here. However, because there's like an invisible wall that prevents you from going onto that side, basically you can't even access the back entrance to that. So if you go in there and somebody else traps you in there, like you're stuck pretty much. You're going to die no matter what. So this entire area is pointless. There's no point in even having that anymore, just because it's just a one-way death hole. Next thing, there is, if you look at my left right there, yep, just right there, yeah, that's a hole in the map. That is a hole in the map. As well, here's another texture issue. It's just a little bit of, like, it just doesn't add up. And whereas with the clipping issues and texture issues on Tython, like, you could only see them from a certain angle. With this, you can just see it. It's just straight up there. So that's it's a bit of an issue. Next thing, we're going to go ahead. You need to be able to like a jumping head start in order to get to it. However, you can just force leap out of the map, just straight up on Korriban. If you wanted to, you could just leap out of the map. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting, actually. I was very, very interested in getting up there. So yeah, that's a neat little thing. You can just kind of get out of the map. Next thing as well, these rocks are climbable. So that's a major plus, is that you can actually climb these rocks. However, you just lead to the outside of the map, and I was wondering what the rocks are even there for, if not to look at the outside of the map. I don't know. They're flying into space pretty much. So I don't know what the purpose of that is, actually. Meanwhile, if we go over here, I switched to my trooper job so I could just like check around the climb swept. However, if you look down there, there's an obvious gap that I should be able to jump down into. So that needs to be worked on. And this as well. I want to see if I can get into it. However, there's like too narrow hallway, even though it's obvious that it's like wide enough to actually fit into on the other side whenever you're looking like from the top down. So I got back up here. By the way, this needs to be worked on. This is just like an ugly texture. Same with this one. This is not... It's just a triangle without a finished side. Also, you know how it's on the other side? It was like you can get in. You can actually get in on this side. However, it just leads to a bit of like a clipping issue, and you just kind of sit around for a moment. Don't really do anything with it. Over here, the tree, big tree on Kashyyyk. If you clip through it, and the only way to get through it isn't by walking. You have to crouch. You can crouch throughout the entire tree, pretty much. The tree's hollow, is what I'm trying to tell you. And the only way to get through is by crouching. And I tried jumping to see if I could like access anything from it, but no, you can't. And the clipping leads outside the tree as well, so you literally it's just bad clipping for the tree. Like you're just sitting there and you're running into an invisible wall is basically the premise of it. So that's not good. And it was getting pretty bad. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it for the bugs. Please, for the love of God, overhaul Tython. I am begging you, remove EE, overhaul Tython, give it the Korriban treatment. Korriban looks great. Thank you.